Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Gamer Social Club's Girl Pod. You probably know us by now, but we'll still do the introductions. I am your host, Candy, joined by my wonderful co-host V. How you doing, V?
I'm very well, thank you. We had a good day playing Peak earlier on today, so
Good.
we're ready. We're pumped. We're ready for the go pod. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, you carried me through most of peak, so I can't complain. I didn't have to do any of the heavy lifting, so it's fine. Fine.
No, it was teamwork. It was all teamwork. We all did it together. Like,
V says teamwork, and I'm like, no, I was kind of a waste of space, and I lost a few backpacks along the way, so it didn't really
we've all
get
done
bing
it.
bong too far,
We got Bing Bong almost to the kiln. Like,
almost.
we almost got him to the kiln. I killed Bing Bong by accidentally jumping into a pit of lava.
There was a lot of lava. To be fair, this
Mm.
time around there was a lot of lava.
There was a huge amount of lava. Like, I don't really know how we could have not accidentally dropped Bing Bong into a pit of lava, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a little rough, but we got very far. We do things like this in the Gamer Social Club Discord from time to time where we play games. We've been doing a few Among Us afternoons, mornings, depending on your time zone.
Yeah.
We did Peak today. I think next week we have Among Us again. And then we'll also be doing some Dead by Daylight in the coming
The
weeks
spooky
because it's
ones.
spooky season.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guides editor, Harry, will be doing Sea of Thieves on Wednesday, if anyone wants
Yes.
to jump into that. And Fraser, community manager, frequently does like co-op multiplayers and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
stuff like Helldivers, if you guys fancy, you can always jump in, have a bit
Yeah.
of fun with some of the community.
Yeah, join the community. The link is in the description down below in order for you to join the Discord, because that's just one of many places that Gamer Social Club is at. If you have tuned in before, then you know all of the things that we do, but I'm going to remind you anyway, just in case you forgot, or if you happen to stumble across this for the first time. On this podcast, we're going to talk about gaming all from our perspective. Sometimes we'll have special guests who will come on and join us. Today, you just got the two lovely ladies here. But then we also have the news podcast where V is typically on. I say typically because sometimes I steal her away and she only does one podcast a week.
It's very true. Sometimes I just need to have a sleep.
Sometimes there's just too many, there's too many guys. It's too like straight laced. It's too much news. Harry's going on about the pillars of the things that we do for the site.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, where can I let out all my chaotic energy? Like,
Obviously, no shade to Harry. We all work together very well. Harry's just very good about the pillars and remembering them, and I stumble through them. But if you want to hear what those pillars for the website are, make sure that you check out the weekly news podcast. Make sure you join the Discord to join us for community nights. And make sure that you check out the website, which is really where we all met and how this all crazy gang of professional non-professionals started. And the website is gamersocialclub.ca. You're going to find editorials, guides, news, reviews, all the things that you need for your gaming in your life. I just had a review go up a couple weeks ago for Shoot and Order, which is a game that I talked a little bit about on a previous episode of the podcast. V has had a few that she's been working on, and we have some other
yep.
ones that we're working on that we can't really talk about. But just know that there's lots of reviews going up in the next few weeks before you buy that game. Check out our reviews.
Yeah, see whether or not it floats your boat, like, or what our opinions of it, and if your opinions align with us, whether or not it might float your boat.
Hmm. And it's okay to tell us that you don't like our opinion. We're good with that too.
Yeah, yeah. People have been telling me they don't like my opinion since I was about 5, so I'm used to it. It's fine. Like,
V tells me
I'm
that
also
she
pleased
doesn't
to tell
like.
you you're wrong.
Yeah. V tells me that she doesn't like my opinion all the time, like in the last episode where I talked about Cowboy Bebop.
Well, yeah, I just thought that maybe it was just not aligned with my opinion. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like
And we still made it to another episode. So just know that it is a safe space for you to give us your opinion, tell us why you think we're wrong. We may tell you that we politely disagree. I did say we're professional non-professionals, so we'll be nice about it. We just won't agree. That's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. You're allowed to not agree with people.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I feel like that shouldn't necessarily need to be said. But in the age of the internet we are now currently in, it's okay if people don't agree with your opinion. If someone doesn't give your favorite game a 10 out of 10, that's just because it's not their favorite game, and that's okay.
That's okay, unless you're gonna tell me that all roguelikes are bad, in which
Yeah,
case those might be fighting words. I'm not
yeah.
calling anybody out, Mark, but it's fine.
I know that when you see him, it's gonna be on site, like
Listen, I just have strong opinions about my roguelikes, okay?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
just don't see how, playing the same 30 minutes over and over again is any different from CODs, but, that's just, differing opinions of stuff, isn't it?
That
Like
exactly. Exactly. You play Call of Duty over and over, there's no additional story, you're just doing the same thing over and over. At least with a roguelike, there's a little story. I think it was Steve where I said, playing a roguelite is not different than going to the gym and building up your muscles, and you're a little bit stronger every time. And really, roguelites are just a metaphor for life, where if you keep doing the same thing that is a positive thing, like working out or reading or whatever, you get that skill to be better and better. So, really, they are just, these fun little nuggets of games that we have to symbolize life.
yeah, much like potentially a Souls like, you know?
Well, that's all pattern learning, okay? That's
No, you're
also a lot
doing
of
the same
pain.
thing over you do the same thing. So is going to the gym, you're
It
doing
is.
the same thing over and over again
I don't
until
know
you
if you're
get better at
supposed
it.
to do the same thing over and over again in a Souls like that.
No, you absolutely
I
are.
think you're
Like
supposed to beat the game.
yeah, no, but you change up your strategy a little bit every time. Like you doing a roguelike, you're not just smacking your head against the wall in a roguelike. Like I think all games are good. That's not true. I think lots of games are shit. Uh,
It was like, "Wait, hold on. No, I take that back."
no, I take that back. So many games are shit. Stop playing FIFA. It's bad. Like, that is the same game every year, and they make you pay for it. Stop it. Like,
Most sports games, I will say, are the same game every year, and I don't know why people pay for them every year, right? Because can't you just at this point, maybe years ago you couldn't do this. Now in the age of the internet and like gaming patches and all this other stuff, couldn't you just pay maybe $5 for an upgrade to the game that gives you the most recent rosters of people on the team at the start of a season instead of paying $70 for a whole new game just to maybe have a slightly different roster than last season?
yeah, you definitely could, but then 2K and EA would not make billions of pounds every year. So,
You know
and
what?
we
You're
have to
right.
think about the poor shareholders, and the we have to feel sorry for the CEOs because what if their bonuses went down? It'd be sad for them
Oh
to
my
not have,
God.
like, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of bonuses every year as the rest of us just struggle through life. Like
The rest of us scrape pennies together from, inside
mm,
the couch trying to buy a game, and they're just, getting thousands upon thousands of dollars to tell people, "Yes, release this game before you get in trouble," or
yeah,
something. I don't actually know. I
yeah,
don't I'm not a game dev. I just
yeah.
think it's
Sell
silly.
them the same game as last year
Mhm.
for the same £70, but there's just different people in it.
Mhm.
Cool.
And only a few different people in it.
Well, yeah,
It's not
yeah,
even a whole
'cause,
new roster.
yeah, some different people in it, but,
Yeah.
£70, go. And actually, you can't get all those people in the base game, if you wanna play online. Pay us money for loot boxes so you can play them online with
Mhm.
those people.
And then if you wanna create your own roster with, like, legacy people that are, like, in the Hall of Fame, that's gonna be a different DLC.
Yeah, that's more different loot boxes. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously they have to do that. There's no other way you could possibly do it. It has to be in a way that makes the people that enjoy those things like as poor as humanly possible.
Mhm.
Like,
And when you
you know,
buy the game, if you buy the physical edition so that you have the box, really you're buying the box that might have a disc that will have only half the game on it.
Yeah, so if you don't have the internet, you can't play the game.
Mhm.
If they decide that the game is delisted, you can't play the game anymore.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, but this is how it just needs to be. Because think of the CEOs and their bonuses, Candy. Like, do you want these people to not be able to buy 2 yachts a year, to only be able to afford 1 yacht? Like, are you saying that they can't have more than 1 yacht? That seems very communist of you. Like
They can't have more than 1 yacht, meanwhile, like, half the people playing these games probably can't even spell yacht. That's how broke they are.
Yeah, or they can't have a mortgage. They have no house, like, that they own. Obviously, they have homes. Like, this is nothing actually against the people that play these games.
Mhm.
But yeah, why shouldn't this man have 7 houses and 12 different wives/mistresses when realistically the people that are paying for their games can't get on the property ladder? Think about the billionaire.
Oh, you're
Like,
right.
should they not be able to pull up their bootstraps and become trillionaires?
You're
Should we
right.
not allow them to do this while everyone else fights over scraps? Like,
You're so right. What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. They need to be able to keep up that, like, high quality of life, and, things are only getting more expensive, and it's not like it's only getting expensive for me and you, it's also getting expensive for them,
yeah, like they have to be able to hoard their wealth
like a
like
dragon.
ridiculous D&D dragon. Like, otherwise, how are their children going to get their way in life without having to put any fucking effort in? Like,
You're right. That's exactly it. I should have been thinking of their children.
think of the children, Candy. Think of the children. Do you want billionaires' children to have to learn and have a work ethic and get a fucking degree? Like, how dare you? Think of the children. Like,
This is so absurd. This is so insane. Oh my god. And let me also I'm gonna backtrack ever so slightly just to say this is no shade to the people that work on the games, because I know
Mm,
that there are people that work on these games who put in a lot of really hard work, and they put in a lot of really long hours, especially the closer and closer that a game gets to being released. And I know that that work is not always easy, and sometimes it is taken for granted. And the CEOs don't know the work that these devs are doing, right? So, no shade to the devs, just shade to the people who make way too much money not actually doing a ton of work on these games, or the ones that do make a ton of money who don't do a lot of work on these games, and then not that this is a sports game, but then decide to go on Twitter and stuff like that and say, don't mock my game just because you don't have a computer that can run it or a PlayStation 5 that can run it, and just restart the game or get rid of the graphics or whatever because I'm Randy Bitchford and I can't put out a game that's decent at launch.
oh, absolutely. It's like,
I don't
what?
even play
This is
Borderlands.
this is your fault. Why don't you have a 5090?
Yes.
Um,
Why don't
and
I have
actually,
a
even if you have a
$1,000 graphic card? Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
even if you have a 5090, like, why aren't you just okay with frame generation, and all of these different things because we have poorly optimized this?
Hmm.
Goddamn, have you tried being less poor, but also at the same time accepting a substandard product as we feed it to you, for fuck's sake? Like,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
someone should muzzle that man. Like, goddamn. Just like, I just imagine, like, when the devs are all in a room, they're working on a patch, they're trying really hard,
Mhm.
and then one of them logs into Twitter and they're like, "Oh God, who gave Randy back his fucking phone?" And they're just like sprinting. Someone's like, "Someone get him!" Like, because why? Shut up, bro. Like, it's a good game. The Borderlands games are good games. They're fun to play for the most part, and then you just have to be like, oh well, if you're not enjoying it, if you're not having a good time, if you're struggling to get like a stable 60 FPS, it's because you're a poor, and also
Yeah.
because you're afraid of technology. And it's like, good grief, bro. Like, just put the phone away. Like,
Literally.
go back to your very, very expensive house with your lovely wife and just sit down and watch
Mhm.
some Netflix or something. You don't need to do this, Randy. You don't need to do this.
Uh, or you know what? Go with one of your other 5 mistresses. Go find a new mistress. Just get off the phone. Like,
Put the
I
phone
have not
down.
played a Borderlands, and I'm sure they are fun games, but I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't. I don't even wanna touch a Borderlands because of who he is. And
yeah.
again, I know that's not fair to the devs and all the people that put a lot of work into it and yada, 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 right? But I don't even want to give this game an attempt because I'm like, it's just gonna make me angry that it's not gonna run that well, or I'm gonna have to just turn it off and turn it back on again because something stupid is gonna happen. And in the back of my mind, all I'm gonna see is his stupid tweet. And I'm just be like, oh, shut up. Shut up. Get off the internet. Go away.
Go
How are you
home.
here?
You have a wife. Go home. Like,
Go
spend
pay
time with
attention
your
to
wife,
her.
Randy. Like,
Literally, I can't. I can't. I know we jumped into a few hot takes very quickly as I was apparently just throwing shade to everybody and anyone under the sun. What are you drinking, V?
I today have a personal favorite of mine, and specifically a personal favorite of my dad's, which is rye and dry. So I have a rye whiskey. This is a bullet bourbon rye, with a Canada dry ginger ale. So
Ooh,
this is what
okay.
my dad drinks. I think it's what he has drank for the past 20 years. And it's delicious. I think you might actually quite like it. I know it's a whiskey, but rye whiskies are a lot sweeter.
Hmm.
And the Canada dry ginger ale is also quite sweet. So it's just like
Yeah.
a little, it's a good one. I like it.
I'm not
What are
huge
you
on
drinking?
ginger ale, but if I need some ginger ale, that's more what I gravitate towards because the
Oh,
additional like sweetness.
mm. Again, with the sweetness of the whiskey, it's just like delicious.
Hmm.
Lovely little Saturday evening post peak drink.
Post peak. Yeah, I am keeping it pretty relaxed. Again, I am drinking the raspberry cider from Doc's. Um this is either the second to last one or the last one that's in the fridge. I don't quite remember. Um I think I mentioned this last week that I would have new drinks for next episode because next week I will actually or next week tomorrow I am going to a cidery. So I'll be picking up some things from there. We're doing like they have this treehouse experience where they have you taste different ciders that they have and they serve you food and so on and so
Yeah,
forth. So I'll get to try a whole bunch of different ones. And then I will bring some back so that I can actually talk about different ciders instead of the same Doc's hard cider that I've had for a few weeks. But I didn't get a chance to go to the liquor store and pick anything else up. And I finished the Malibu last episode and I have not bought anything new to mix. So we finish this, we make room in the fridge, and then we move on to something new. But
yeah.
I do really like Doc's. It's straightforward, simple. I don't even think it's overly sweet, which I think is nice, but it's very refreshing.
Mm. I don't think we get it in the UK, unfortunately. I've never seen it before. I think it could be US only.
Yeah, I mean, this is another local-ish to New York one. Um, like I know Angry Orchard is the big one that has made its way around the US a lot. I don't think Doc's has made it quite as far. Because I'm in New York, we have a lot of cideries. I mean, our state fruit is the apple, right? That's why we're called the Big Apple. So we have a lot of like these really cool cider spots and people that are making like their own cider and things like that. So it's pretty great. But I'll have some new stuff from Angry Orchard next episode. I know in the past I've had this really good like cinnamon one that I
Mhm.
really
And we're
enjoyed.
going into cinnamon season,
Yes,
apparently.
we
I don't
are.
know. We don't have well, we do have pumpkin spice in the UK now because of Starbucks,
Hmm.
but cinnamon's not something I necessarily associate with, like, Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. I don't associate it with Halloween. I associate it with like fall in general. It's like the pumpkin, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, like those sorts of flavors. That's
Yeah.
really what I
You
think
see,
of.
I think right until up until pumpkin spice became, like, a thing, I would associate pumpkins with Halloween and the fact you carve a pumpkin, and even in Scotland, you would never carve a pumpkin, you do, like, a turnip,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
it's not called trick or treat or anything like that, it would be called guising. You like get dressed up and you have like a turnip. Because pumpkins aren't native to the
Mhm.
UK, as far as I'm aware. Um, but also like very right up until we had like the whole Starbucks pumpkin spice thing and stuff like that. I don't think I'd ever like eaten a pumpkin. Like,
Okay. Yeah,
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 it's just not something that you find. So I don't really associate pumpkin with fall, even flavor wise. Like, so it's kind of a weird one because it's like, yeah, pumpkins and cinnamon and da, 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 like pumpkin pie, and I'm like, I've never had that. That doesn't register on my. Fall is like soup, stew,
fair.
good stew with like a suet dumpling on top, like a really nice
Mm.
fatty dumpling guy. I'm like, yeah. Like,
Okay, so when you come to visit us, we'll make sure that we get you pumpkin flavored stuff.
so I can be like, "Eh," or eh.
I mean, so some of it is very good. It depends on what you're getting. Depends on what you're having. Um New York City's huge, so I don't mind talking about like New York City. So there is a bakery called Magnolia Bakery in New York City. It has a few different locations. I am used to going to them growing up. I would go for the banana pudding. I love banana flavored stuff. I love their banana pudding. Very, very good.
So pudding in America is like specifically like a thick custard, right?
Yeah, it's a bit more custody. The way they have their banana pudding is it is a little bit of like that thick custard, and they have like Nilla wafers in it, and then they have actual like chunks of banana. Um,
Okay.
so very, very good. So yes, it's more of a custardy dessert thing. Um, they so on Thursday, I went by and I also picked up their pumpkin pudding, and I was not sure if it was going to be good. Now I should have known that it was going to be good because Magnolia Bakery, everything they make is delightful. So if you are ever in New York City and you find yourself near a Magnolia's Bakery, you should pick up some stuff that they have. Um, but their pumpkin pudding was so good. I was upset that I only got the small container instead of the medium or the large. Um, I got the large container of the banana pudding, and as of last night, it is gone. We're recording this on Saturday. I picked it up Thursday after work, so that tells you how quickly the banana pudding was eaten. Um, but yeah, pumpkin has definitely like I feel like even here it's sort of grown as far as how big it is and how much people are enjoying it. Because like growing up, it was like, yeah, okay, there's pumpkin pie, and you'd have it during different holidays. Really like Thanksgiving, that's when. But now it's like, oh, it's the pumpkin spice latte, and it's this, and everybody's got a pumpkin drink. And I feel like even pumpkin beer has gotten to be like very big this season.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I think it's always sort of existed, but it has exploded last 7 to 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting though, because yeah, I don't think it was ever as big. What I did notice has expanded into the UK. Maybe you can explain this to me, right? Why Black Friday sales?
Uh,
What is that?
be, because everyone in the world is insane. Uh,
Because I think of Black Friday and I'm like, okay, so you have Thanksgiving with family, and
yeah.
then you go right into like the holiday season, right? Because this is how I grew up, right? Thanksgiving morning, you would wake up, you'd watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, right?
Mhm.
And then at the end of the parade, that's when Santa comes out, and that is the holiday season, right? That is like the start of the holiday season. Whatever, people can start playing their Christmas music if they want to, right? Some people will start to decorate their homes for Christmas like the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But then that night or afternoon, depending on how early you eat dinner, you would have all your Thanksgiving food. And then Friday, depending on how crazy you are or were, right? Shops would open up at midnight. You could go out, you could go get some
Yeah.
great deals, right? Go get your next PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was a uniquely American thing until
And
2018, right?
it is a uniquely American thing, but we've just started doing it.
Yeah,
And yeah. Yeah.
2018, we go into London on our honeymoon, and I'm like, oh, we left. No, oh yeah, we were in London at this point. We left the US the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
great. We don't have to use all this American time, all this vacation time, right? We'll be in another country. We don't have to worry about things being closed for Thanksgiving, the craziness of Black Friday. So how strange is it when I'm like, here I am in London and they're talking about Black Friday and the sales?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this is because of the rise of Amazon.
Okay.
So in the UK, you would have the equivalent would be like the Boxing Day
Yeah,
sales,
yeah.
which is the day after Christmas. Because like Christmas, well, traditionally Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, all the shops would be shut. Obviously now, all the shops are open on Christmas Eve because
Mhm.
how am I supposed to buy presents for people if the shops are not open? Like, come on,
'Cause
give me a break.
capitalism.
Um, yeah, but just also, I'm just really disorganized and like, well, I usually buy all the food for mine and my mum's Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve because I'm
Mhm.
like, I got distracted. I was in the pub, like it's dark.
You
Like I
can't
don't
buy
know.
food too early though, it'll go bad.
Yeah, exactly. There's also that, but it was mostly because I'm like, why don't we go to the pub instead? I don't know. Like maybe we could just pub. And then maybe on Christmas Day we get like a Chinese or something because it would be
We've done
open.
that before.
Like, um, so we would have the Boxing Day sales. I used to work in retail, and they were horrendous. You would have people like we would nothing would open at midnight, but like we would open at like 7 a.m. and I would get the bus in to go to work and like go under the little barrier at 6 a.m. and you would have like little grannies trying to like army crawl under the barrier after you, and it's like. I work.
Oh
You can't
no.
be in here. Also, I work in Primark. All the pants are still only 50 pence. What are you coming into us for a fucking sale? What do you mean? Um, but anyway, we would have that. But I think when Amazon became like a big thing, sort of like globally, because they have their black what they have like Black Friday Amazon sales, and then they have like Cyber Monday
Mhm.
Amazon
And
sales.
then they also have Prime Day.
Yeah, you have all their stuff, but obviously like the like brick and mortar retail have to try and compete
Mhm.
in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
So all of the brick and mortar, not all of the brick and mortar shops, but like the big ones. So like your big department stores like Selfridges and stuff like that in London, but especially like your electronics stores because that's what people are buying.
Mhm.
That's what people are looking for on their Black Friday sale from like Amazon. It's like they have to open and they have to try and undercut Amazon because otherwise you're right in the run up to Christmas. If you don't sell people their PS5 on Black Friday now, as like an Argos, then they're just going to buy it off Amazon, and then you're going to
Mhm.
lose all of those sales before Christmas. So it's actually, again, the billionaires have ruined it for everyone. That's what it is. They've ruined. So Jeff Bezos needs more money, which now means that poor retail workers in the UK that don't get any days off around Thanksgiving, because I couldn't even fucking tell you when it was, have to go in and get accosted by people trying to punch them for a fucking telly.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I mean, I don't think it's as
Insane.
bad in Scotland. I've never seen like people super queuing for like
Okay.
stuff like that for Black Friday. I got my PS5 and like an Argos Black Friday sale in Scotland, and the Argos is like 2 minutes walk away from my house, and I just pre-ordered it from my phone, just walked in, picked up, and left. People were just in. It was a Friday night. People were just in getting their bevy and like their steak and their nice date night meal. They were like, "Oh, let's get some cans and like a nice bottle of wine, or etc. etc." There is a fly in my home. So inappropriate. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a thing in a lot of other bits of the UK, or even bigger cities than the city that I live in Scotland.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jeff Bezos' fault. Like a lot of things, actually.
I
Fuck you,
mean,
Jeff.
true. True. You know what? It's him and, because we can blame all of this, and if there's no other episodes of Girl Pod after this, it's because, they came and got me. Blame Jeff Bezos and America, because who are we to push all of our Black Friday shit onto everybody else?
I
Like,
mean, but it
damn it.
wasn't America didn't do that. Jeff Bezos did that. Only Jeff Bezos.
Because we enabled him to do it. Because now, and then the worst part is now things don't even wait until Friday. Right?
Oh yeah.
They don't even wait. Now it's like, "Oh, Thanksgiving Day, 6 p.m., we're open. I'm like, when are people supposed to have dinner?
No, that's wild. We don't do that here. I
Not
don't think.
yet. If they
Well,
keep
no,
following our patterns.
no. Like, I think
Well, your stores will probably
there's a
still be
lot.
open.
Well, yeah, on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
there's a lot to be said about the fact that I can't. There's pubs are open on Christmas Day. A lot of pubs, not every pub, but some pubs
Yeah.
are open on Christmas Day, which I kind of disagree with because the people who work in the pub should be able to have a Christmas as well.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
um,
agreed, agreed.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we have a very ethnically diverse nation in the UK, so there's going to be places that are open because the people that work there don't celebrate Christmas. So
Mhm.
like you'll have like Indian restaurants, you'll have Chinese restaurants and stuff like that. And if the
Yeah.
people that own it and work there don't celebrate Christmas, like yeah, you open up and you fucking make bank, bro. Like I'm
Mhm.
so you do that. I'm not saying like oh everything should be closed on Christmas because this is a Christian. Get to fuck with that shit. Like it's not. It never has been. Don't fight me in the comments. Fight me outside my house with this Christian country bullshit.
Oh, boy.
Like absolutely not. Like but like but I don't think that everything should be open on
Mhm.
Christmas Day, and luckily we don't have that. Like things are not open on Christmas Day, generally speaking. Like you have like some little corner shops and stuff like that for emergencies.
Yeah.
Um, but we've not even remotely close to got into like, oh, the shops are open early on Christmas Day for people to come and do the sales.
Keep it that way.
Like yeah, because like they open at like sort of normal times on Boxing Day. Some shops open late. Like it's
Mhm.
not like 12 o'clock at night queue up to do your shit. Scotland's even like in Scotland, Christmas is everyone loves Christmas. No, it's a bit of Christmas if you celebrate Christmas.
Mhm.
Um, but in Scotland we have Hogmanay, so that's New Year's Eve
Okay, yeah,
is
yeah.
the Scottish holiday of the year. So in England, you get a lot of people get New Year's Day off, so the day
Mhm.
after, because it's like, oh, you stay up late, you bring in the bells, you'll have a drink, and you can have the day off afterwards, so everyone can bring in the New Year. In Scotland, we get 2 days off after New Year's Eve,
Lucky.
so all the shops are shut until like the 3rd of January, because the implication is like you go out on New Year's and you do not come home like
Mhm.
until like midday. Like we we have an entire tradition which is called first footing. So it's like you take like little gifts and stuff with you. So if you go to someone's house just after New Year's is turned over, it is bad luck to not give them a gift as you walk into their house. So you would like trap
Oh,
their door, and as
okay.
they open the door, you give them like a bottle of wine or like a bag of shortbread or something like that to first foot them into the new year so that they have something nice
Mm. I
into the
like
new year.
that.
I think it's great. I can't be outside of Scotland for New Year or else it's like a Cinderella thing and I'll just turn into a giant haggis. Like it's like I have to be in Scotland the New Year. Otherwise I'm just like, well, they take my card away and I'm not allowed to live here anymore. But like but then on New Year's Day, the big tradition is to have like a big dinner. So you have like your
Okay.
friends and family around, there's like homemade steak pie, and then everyone gets a little bit more tipsy to stave off how hungover they are from New Year. Because
Mhm.
if you think Scottish people kick the arse out of it any other time of the year, you need to come to Scotland for New Year because good fucking grief. Like, and you can't just stop that cold turkey. You have to taper
You
that
have
shit
to
off
yeah,
before.
yeah. Mhm.
So you have a little bit more drinks, you have some wine, you have a nice night with your family, and then we have the second off for everyone to lie about and just think about what they've done for the past 2 days.
Okay.
Like, but there's no sales or anything after that. There's no like
Right.
shopping. There's nothing. It's just like have a day with your friends and your family getting rat-arsed and like giving each other gifts, and then have another day having less drinks with your friends and your family to make sure you don't die. And then the next day, die in bed for the whole day until you go back to work. Like,
I like that though. I do really like that. I thankfully do not work in retail anymore, but I used to, and I used to really hate working in retail around the holidays just because people get mean and they like get just super nasty and they want everything and they want it on sale and they want it when they want it. Um, which is a hot mess. And working in an American mall on Black Friday is absolutely awful. I would take, and I've done this before, so I will give a comparison, I guess. I would take working in a restaurant on Thanksgiving over working like in retail on like a Black Friday anytime. Like, does that mean I'm not with a whole bunch of people when they're eating really delicious food because I'm at the restaurant on Thanksgiving? Yes, but I would rather do that than be dealing with like retail people the next day. And I've done both. So, whatever when I was working in restaurants for a good portion of it, my sister was a like direct services provider for a home for people that needed additional assistance. So there were a lot of Thanksgivings that like quite honestly both her and I were working, which was fine.
Yeah,
Um and then we would just spend time together other times. But the people on those days were much better than anybody that I ever saw around the
yeah,
holidays in retail. Because my gosh, some of the
yeah.
worst. Oh, and the Christmas Eve, forget about it. Oh my God.
I th- I think everyone who works in retail on Christmas Eve should be allowed to, at a certain threshold, like there should be a scoring system,
Hmm.
and if you get over like 50 points, you should be able to like close the shutters and invoke like a purge situation, like because you're all, not everyone, not every, but
Hmm.
I'm sure anyone who's listening or watching who's worked in retail can relate to the fact people are fucking insane.
Yes,
Like, what the
100%.
fuck? Like,
100%.
I worked in customer services for a while when I worked in Primark. Um, so I don't know if you guys have Primark, but it's like
Hmm.
a, oh, well, yeah. So everyone knows Primark. This is not like high end. I think it's got it's a good service for what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, fast fashion is generally bad for the environment, but a lot of people need shops like this because
Hmm.
this is affordable for them to buy new
Yeah.
clothes and get all of their stuff. I have got nothing against Primark. I worked there, and when I worked there, I got paid less than minimum wage because it is a fucking shithole of a company. But
Hmm.
that's nothing to do with the 85% of the people that shop in Primark.
Right. Right.
15% of the people that shop in Primark are psychopaths, sociopaths, the worst people in the world. Genuinely. I worked behind the customer service desk in Primark, and a woman once came in with a pair of pants, so but not trousers. I mean, for American listeners,
Hmm.
like underwear, like panties, or the
Yeah. Yeah.
weird things that you call them, that she would like to return. Now, I don't know because I know America's a lot more like the consumer is always right sort of thing. But
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
in the UK, most places, you cannot return underwear for hygiene reasons because as an employee, I shouldn't have to touch them.
Mhm.
And also,
Mhm.
we cannot resell them if they have touched your bare arse.
Right, makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
So I was just like, the Primark line is like, every time you're selling underwear, you put them in the bag, you're like, oh, just so you know, underwear is non returnable for hygiene reasons. So you just say it. It's like a mantra. I could do it in my sleep.
Mm.
Fold and shut up, put it in the bag. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I can't return these. For hygiene reasons. And she was like, oh, you calling me dirty? And I was like,
Oh my
no,
god.
I'm not. Please bear in mind, in the context of the story, this is like a £1.50 pair of pants. Like, and I was like, no, no, I'm not. I'm just like, would you want to wear pants that someone else has worn?
Right.
Like, and she was like, oh, I've not worn them. And I was like, well,
I can't tell that.
I can't confirm that. Like, so there's nothing I can do. This is just like this company policy.
Yeah.
Um, I was 17 at the time when this happened, and I probably haven't gotten any better since. But she was then just like, oh well, they don't fucking fit. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, why'd you buy
So
them?
I said, how do you know they don't fit if you've not tried them on? Um, uh, and she was like, oh, so you are calling me dirty? And then she picked up a glass holded candle from the in front of the till and just threw it straight at my face, just like full force. Like, and she had a good arm on her. Luckily enough, I was just a bit like, I think I wasn't hungover that day. If I was hungover, I would have been. I would never be on a podcast. I would have a bit of a face for radio, but good grief, like I would have been like caved my entire face in. I was just like, ugh. And then I was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have to go." Like, I
You
was
gotta
like on a
leave.
little mic, and I'm like, "Can we have security to customer services, please? There is security to customer services, thanks very much." And I just stood there looking at her. She's like holding her pants, her £1.50 pants that she can't return. Like, and I'm just like, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh my god.
You're like a 45-year-old woman, and you just attempted to murder me over £1.50 pants. And this is what people do in retail on Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
That's like
Yes.
one instance across like a month. But
Mhm.
that's what people try and do to you on retail on Christmas Eve every fucking 10 minutes. They're
Yes.
just like
Yes.
they're like this had a sale sticker on it. This had a sale sticker on it. I got this off a shelf where it said it was like $5. And it's like, well, I've scanned it and it's 6. And it's like, you can't do this. I want to speak to your manager. I want to do this. Like, people are ready to throw fucking hands over
Yes.
like 50 pence for the
Mm-mm.
entire day. And you're just there as like a little minimum wage guy,
Mhm.
usually a teenager or like
Yup.
in university or in college. And you're just like, I don't know what I don't know what I say, bro. Like, could you just do you want it or do you not want it? Like, I'm not gonna fight you, bro. Just fucking buy it or don't. Like, leave. What's
Literally.
wrong with you? Like,
Oh my god. No, it's crazy. I So listeners or watchers, do not be that person in the retail store. When you go to GameStop, when you go to wherever else is selling electronics these days, I don't even know. Um, don't be that person, okay? If you need to
do
pick
it.
up a Switch 2, please be kind to the poor retail person who's just trying to make a dollar, like
Yeah,
to buy their own gifts for their loved ones. Don't be that person.
do it. If they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any Switch 2s, just be like, oh, maybe I should have done my shopping on Christmas fucking Eve. Don't be giving them shit. Like, just like, if they don't have the game you need, speak to the little people in your game store.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you right now, your children and your grandchildren probably won't mind that you accidentally bought them the wrong game because you forgot the name of it and you just said something to the employee and they did their best.
Mhm.
No one's been harmed by this. Maybe you too could accidentally get Skyrim instead of Skyward Sword and then put 900 hours in Skyrim. Like, please don't be mean to retail employees over Christmas.
That's a
Don't,
very
don't
specific
be.
example.
I mean, this has happened, but like, but yeah, this is you like don't be mean to retail employees
Mhm.
ever, but especially not over Christmas. They're not with their families. They're
This is
there
true.
so you can fucking do shit and just like if you get something for Christmas that's not exactly what you wanted, I don't know, just be grateful over the fact that you've got family there to give you it. Like
Mhm.
stop it. All of you stop it right
Big
now.
facts.
Like,
Big, big facts. 100% agreed. Trying to think. The last time this is oh my god. Okay. This is not for pity or this is just for context, right? To accentuate the point. Because of where my family lives, which is in where my parents live in Florida, and because Florida is hot and I'm not celebrating Christmas in a hot place, we actually have not had a Christmas with my parents in 10 this year will be 10 years that we have not had a Christmas together, right? So just appreciate the Christmases that you have with people. And I know it's really early to start talking about Christmas, and I know this is like a
Yeah.
really long tangent that we went on from lots of things, right? But whether it's a birthday or Christmas or whatever it is, right? Just be happy that you are able to celebrate those moments with those people. Because even birthdays, I haven't had my parents, or I think even my sister, for a birthday easily in the last 10 years just because of the distance and all of that, right? So if people are buying you gifts, right, or you are out there buying someone a gift, be nice to the retail person who's probably doing their best or maybe doesn't love that this is the only job that they can get, so be kind to them, right?
Yeah.
And then just appreciate the gift. Remember, it's the thought that counts if you get it wrong. Don't be mad. Don't blame the retail person. Even if you are not in the store anymore, but you bought the wrong game and somebody opens it and it's like, oh, I have this game or whatever, right? First of all, don't be that person. Just be grateful for the gift. But if you're the person who bought the wrong gift, right, just remember that it's the thought that counts. Don't curse out the retail person in your mind, even if they're not physically there. That's bad juju. Do not invite bad juju or bad karma into your life. Don't
No,
do it.
no, it's Christmas. It's a birthday. Just think about the fact that you're getting to spend good times with your
Mhm,
loved ones. And if you're over the age of 18 in the UK and 21 outside of the UK, well, in the US, well,
mhm.
so 21 in the US and 18 everywhere else.
Basically, yeah. There might be 1 or 2 places where it's like 19. Oh.
Open another beer, have a glass of
Yeah.
wine, like take a legally consensual drug of your choice, and
Take an
just
edible.
chill.
Enjoy.
Yeah, chill out, relax, have a good time with your friends and family, because you're probably not going to remember that game in like 10 years. Like you're
Mhm.
probably but you will probably remember having a great time with your friends and family on your birthday if you'll just fucking chill out. Just chill
Hell yeah. Hell
out.
yeah. You know who probably would be so grateful for whatever gift and would never yell at a retail employee? Whoever your fantasy guest is.
What a perfect way to try and bring this back on track. We're like, be good to each other.
Normally, we go right from the "What are we drinking?" to the fantasy guest pitch. We
Yeah, we
are
didn't even make it to what are you drinking before we went off on a tangent.
before we went off, and we are 45 minutes in and finally getting to the guest pitch. We've done all the chatter and, like, the hot takes. Whatever, it's a rough
we,
outline, you know?
yeah, if you think being nice to retail employees is a hot take, I don't want you to subscribe. You can fuck off. Like, um,
Your like does not count towards me playing a Souls-like game.
yeah, it does not count. And my fantasy guest would think it would not count either. 'Cause my fantasy guest this week is Johnny Young Bosch. Do you know who Johnny Young
Ooh!
Bosch
Yeah,
is?
of
Yes,
course
you
I
do. Yes.
do. What?
Yeah.
What
So
do I
obviously,
know?
the Black Power Ranger and later the Green Power Ranger would not think that being mean to retail employees was okay.
Mhm.
Like, now I like grew up with Johnny Young Bosch without really realizing that I'd grown up with Johnny Young Bosch. It's one of those weird ones where, again, if you look at his Wikipedia page and all of his roles and stuff like that, you're like,
Mhm.
you have absolutely watched something. Like you've
100%.
watched an anime, you've watched like just even like a film and stuff like that in it where he does, or you've watched fucking Power Rangers. You know who Joy Young Bosch is. Um,
100%.
but one of my favorite animes of all time is Trigun. And I
Vash the
think that
Stampede.
yes, and I think that might have been his first anime role was
Okay.
Vash the Stampede and Trigun. So I would like to speak to Johnny Young Bosch about how he got from being a Power Ranger.
Mhm.
Like he's like we're doing the Power Rangers into then going into to voice acting, but then also being in like you know uh, some of the most uh, quintessential
Yeah.
animes and video games of all time. I've actually just looked up. his first his first voice acting credit is of Canada and Akira. So this
Ooh,
is like,
okay.
okay, I don't actually know if I've ever watched Akira with
With, like,
a dub.
English. Mhm.
Yeah, because I had it on tape as a child, so you couldn't just switch it over.
Right.
Um, that's VHS for anyone under the age of whatever who's watching. So you either had it with a dub or you had it with a sub. Um,
Mhm.
but that was his first, which is wild to me that I did not know
Wow.
that. But then he did Vasta Stampede, which I did watch dubbed, um, and Trigun, which is one of the best animes of all time. I don't want to hear if you don't like it.
I actually really like Trigun. I do like Trigun. When I think of Johnny Young Bosch, the first thing that comes to mind is Bleach and Ichigo.
Mhm. I've never watched Bleach, but
Okay.
I I know that Harry, or guy, did. Is a big Bleach fan because when we were at Gamescom, we obviously went to the, well, waifu area. It's not just waifus. There was there was lots and lots of anime figures,
Mhm.
and I was very excited for like the Naruto figures, and like the Full Metal Alchemist figures and stuff like that. But Harry was very excited about the Bleach figures. So I did not know that he was. I didn't know Johnny on Bosch was a Bleach either because I've never watched Bleach.
Ugh, so good. Ugh. Yeah, no, Bleach is one of my favorites, even though some of the filler that they had towards the end was awful.
Mm,
Um, but I do understand that the way that a lot of anime worked, especially back then, I don't think it's as bad now. Um,
mhm.
but I do know that a lot of the way that it worked was like if you didn't just keep airing stuff, you lost your time slot in Japan. Um,
Yeah.
which is why there was so much filler for so many
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Um,
Naruto's got so much filler. Like,
yeah, and it didn't help that with Bleach, um, Kubo, who's the mangaka, he like fell ill and then was trying to rush through the end of Bleach, which now Bleach uh ended at one point. The anime ended, has since returned in the last few years to tell the last arc of the series. And I know that
yeah,
most of the voice actors returned to their roles. I believe Johnny Young Bosch also did. I'll be honest, I've been watching it mostly subtitled because it comes out and I like can't wait to jump back into it because I love it so much.
yeah.
Um, but Bleach is very, very good. I highly recommend it to a lot of people. At one point when there was not as much accessibility to anime, it was one of like the big three being One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. I feel like most people sort of have
You
like an
chose your one.
allegiance to what. Yes, you chose your one. Obviously, my one was Bleach. You had Naruto.
I'm a Naruto fan.
That's fine.
I don't. Who's got time for One Piece?
Uh,
Like,
if you are getting laid, nobody. Sorry.
oh no, I like that
I
though.
have friends who
Like,
love it and they have partners and they're very respectable. I just don't understand how anybody has time for One Piece.
yeah,
It's too much.
I've seen bits and bobs of like clips and stuff like that of it. I'm sure it's very, very good, but you're not going to tell me that anyone in One Piece is hotter than Kakashi from Naruto. You fucking can't. Like, I refuse. I refuse.
I like that
Like,
that's the line. Like, no one's hotter. No.
oh yeah, like
The other role that I
I was
really
watching
like.
Naruto when I was like 12, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
"Who- who's this handsome man with the mask?
Hmm.
Like, and I'm now like 34, which is a lot older than 12. And I'm still like, who's this handsome man with a mask?
No, valid.
Like,
So valid. No, no.
mm,
I think the other role that I really like Johnny Young Bosch in, and actually just we rewatch. I had watched it before. I did a rewatch recently. Um, is he also did the dubbing for Lelouch in Code Geass,
mhm.
which is another
Yeah.
great anime. Um, I will be curious. speaking of him. And I mean, there's been very little, uh, you know, talk about it so far as voice actors go. Um, will he return to Persona 4 with the revival?
Well, yeah, that's what I would like to talk to him about if we managed to get him on the podcast, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously he does the main character, Narukami, um, in Persona 4, but
Mm-hmm.
also Adachi in
Yes.
Persona 4,
Mm-hmm.
um, who are both big characters in the game. I'm
You meet
going to
them
say,
both, yeah, very early. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you meet them both very early, and they are both fantastic characters. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that a few people, like a few of the voice actors, came out and were like, "We've not been asked to come back," but he was not one of
He
them
was
that
not
I
one of them.
saw.
Mm-hmm.
So because I feel like you can't really change Adachi. Like
You could change the main character because as most Persona
he
games, the
says
main
nothing.
character says very few things. I mean, how many
Yeah,
times are you gonna record Persona, right? Like how many times are you gonna do it?
yeah,
But I think he was so perfect in the role of Adachi. The other one that I'll
yeah.
be very curious is for the new Danganronpa.
Yeah, so I have seen on his Wikipedia that he's in Danganronpa too. So
Yes.
I was not aware of this,
Mhm.
but we've brought it all back together of all of the things that we all love. I would
Mhm.
actually like to really ask him how different it is voicing, because obviously he voices a lot of characters in a lot of anime, but then
Mhm.
he reprises their voice in a lot of anime games.
Yes.
So I'd like to know like if how different that is. Like obviously you know the character, you know what they're about, you know
Mhm.
their characterization from the anime. But how different is it when you're then brought back to do like yes, some cut scenes and stuff like that, but just like loads of random like
Yeah.
battle sounds, like because he voiced like Sasori in Naruto, and then obviously there's like four Ultimate Ninja Storms where he would
Mhm.
voice. Well, I don't think the first one has Sasori in it, but like, so how do you go from voicing this like pretty complex character with a lot going on, and
Mhm.
obviously it's a early like 2000s anime, so there's a lot of monologuing. People be monologuing a lot.
Mhm.
People would be
Yep.
monologuing. They'd be flash back into what just happened and then monologuing about what just happened. Like these are all, but how do you go from that to then doing all of like the little incidental lines that you would have in a fighting game, which is
Yeah.
just like you making random noises and you doing this and that and the next
Mhm.
thing. So like, how do you get into that frame of mind? I think that would be very interesting to know. Like, just because I assume you have to take quite a lot of takes to get
Mhm.
just the perfect like I don't even know what so sort because his is like 1,000 puppets is like his
Okay.
special move or something like that. So like how many takes does it take to do that for a special move rather than uh um like a crowning moment of an anime episode, you know?
Mhm.
Because I assume there's it's probably a bit different. Like
Yeah, I would have to assume so, right?
mm,
Because I think there's also not as much time to build up to it sometimes in games, right? And then, depending on what's happening in an anime episode, right? Like you have all the context of everything around you, right? And that scene is set, right? With like a fighting game, right? As we know, like the stage can be different, right? Like all these
yeah,
other things can be very different. So it's like, how do you record something that will never feel like it doesn't fit because it's not going to be the stagnant same place? Right, so I think
yeah,
that'd be interesting. I think it would also be interesting to hear about coming back to certain characters after so many years, right? Because obviously we don't know if he'll come back for, this new Danganronpa path. We don't know about Persona 4, right? But he did do that for Bleach. So, like, what is that like to come back to a character after so long? Would it feel the same to come back to a character in a video game after so long, right? Like, what does that look
yeah.
like? How do you just bring that all back?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that would be very because actually in 2021 he voiced Adam Park in a Power Rangers game, and I'm like, that must feel super weird.
Yeah,
Like you voiced like you didn't you didn't voice, you
you
played
are.
this
Right.
person. You played this person in the 1994,
Mhm.
like the first the first Power Rangers that I ever watched, like Mighty Morphin Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
yeah. I was part of the Mighty Morphin
To,
Power Rangers fan club. Are you kidding?
yeah,
Like,
but then to go from that and then like just just 20 more than 20, oh god, so old. Like
sorry,
but
a long time
like
later.
but yeah, like your first ever like that was his first ever role was
Mhm.
in the Power Rangers in 1994 to then come back in 2021 as like voicing that same character in a video game. That must
Mhm.
be surreal. I think you'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this is like this is crazy. Like, and I think he came back in like the 30th anniversary special or something for Mighty
That
Morphin
wouldn't
Power
surprise me.
Rangers.
Mhm.
Like, and that seems like that would be a bit different because then presumably the way that they're writing would be it's like, oh, this person is aged. But I assume the writing in the video game is like you're playing the character as they were when you played them like
Oh, yeah.
25 years in
Yeah.
the past. Like you're playing 1994 Adam Park from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You're not playing him 20 years
No.
later, like as he's moved on with his life and been doing other things.
That's gotta be so
Not 20
strange.
years later, 30 years later. Ah,
No, it has to
The
be.
90s didn't happen 30 years ago. You can't convince me otherwise. Mm.
Yeah, I think I'd also be curious to hear, like, he did, the voice of Artemis in,
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. So, you know, obviously that was now doing a voice that has already been done in a franchise that is already so, like, loved. Right?
Yeah,
So, how does it feel to step into a role that has been done not once, right? It's not like you're just dubbing it from Japanese. You are now stepping into a role that has already been done in English, right?
yeah,
That has this fandom, from the decade that was totally not 30 years ago, right? Where, people like myself, like, already have in mind this, like, a voice of Artemis, a voice of, and obviously this can go
yeah,
for a lot of different people who've done a lot of different game work, right? Because you could say the same thing to like Robbie Daymond, right? You know,
mm,
same sort of thing with Sailor Moon, right? But how does it feel to step into that and be like, I am either going to do justice to what the original sounded like, or I'm going to take this character and make it my own, right? And
yeah,
how do you strike that balance without pissing people off, essentially, right?
yeah,
And it's sort of the same thing when you jump into like a video game, right? And voice characters that maybe had voice actors before or maybe never had voice acting before if it's like a remake of a game. And then you have to give a voice to a character that didn't have a voice before and people in their head have already thought about for maybe 20
yeah,
plus years. This is what the character sounds like. And not that you have to appease people, right? But does that add that like additional pressure of things, right? Because voice acting wasn't always in games. And we see video games get remade or a new entry in a video game from like 30 years ago that never had voice acting. And now suddenly we're getting these voice actors attached to them. So what does that feel like, right? How do you deal with that
yeah,
pressure, that stress? That's got to be very interesting to just try to be a part of, right? And of
yeah,
course, I'd be curious, like having so many roles and so many things, like what video games is he playing, right? Does he
yeah,
sometimes critique, like voice acting if you're playing something and you're like, what is this voice act? Like, what is this?
yeah.
You
I
know?
wonder if he's ever like, oh, back in my day, like voice actors were never this famous,
That,
like a bit like
yeah.
how crazy it is now that we have like which I think is a fantastic thing that we have like best performance awards and stuff like that
Mhm.
for voice actors, but you also have people being like, oh, Ben Starr and Neil Byrne and stuff like that, like the Troy Bakers and stuff like that of the world. It's just like where it used to be like people who knew the people that voice acted their characters were like kind of niche. Like
Mhm.
they were only the people that would go to like Comic Cons and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like I'm a big fan of Dan Green who voiced everyone. At some point, I assume, like, or but most people who played video games and stuff like that didn't really know the voice actors of the people
Mhm.
who played the game, who were on the games. Versus, but definitely, I think for anime, because when we were growing up, anime was a lot more niche.
Yeah.
So you were into anime. It wasn't like now anime's like on Netflix and stuff like that. And again, I think that's great because it's a
Mhm.
fantastic art form and I love it. And I love to see new anime. But like when I was growing up, I was a big nerd. Like
Yeah.
he's like,
100%.
yeah, you chose one of the big three that you were into because I
Mhm.
feel like everyone just watched Dragon Ball. Like if you then watched anime at some point, like but
You watched Dragon Ball or you watched Sailor Moon?
I watched Sailor Moon.
I was a Sailor
I
Moon
was a
person.
Sailor Moon.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't have to fight anyone about it because even the people on power scaling on Reddit and the most diehard Dragon Ball Z fans you ever will meet know that Sailor Moon would beat everyone in a fight. like, like it's just the facts. Like you know,
100%.
she just gonna do it. Like everyone knows this.
No one needs to
No one
ask, can
can.
Sailor Moon beat Goku? The answer is yes. We know
Yeah,
this.
Goku can beat everyone else because he'll just power up at some point. However, Sailor Moon can actually just beat everyone in a fight. And if you don't think that that is true, then you're not actually a Dragon Ball Z fan. Like I'm telling you, like because diehard Dragon Ball fans will tell you the same thing. Like she's broken.
Mhm.
Like she's cracked, mother. She's cracked. Like
Literally. Listen, that legendary silver crystal ain't legendary for nothing, okay?
mm, absolutely. Like you can't do that. No one can do what she does. Like
No.
she'll just she'll just send like herself back in time to do it again.
Literally.
Like
Oh my god. Oh, I love Sailor
yeah,
Moon.
I
So
love
good.
Sailor Moon too. It's so good. But yeah, it's like you chose your big three, and people who watched anime when I was a child were like, you were super nerd. Like
Mhm.
just
Yep.
like what's that? Like you would go to like comic book shops and you would wait for the next like volume of the manga you were reading to
Mhm.
buy so you could do that. And people are like, what do you mean you read it backwards? Like it's just like the nerdiest pastime you
Yep.
could have.
Yep.
Whereas now it's so much more mainstream and I love that. But that means more people, but also video games are much more mainstream and people
Mhm.
know more voice actors and they know all these things. So it's like, it would be interesting to hear his perspective on like how voice acting has changed over the years
Yeah.
since he was like part of it right back in the day. Like,
I think it would be interesting too because I know we talked about the same thing with like Jennifer Hale, and I think it would be interesting to see if their perspectives line up or
yeah,
if they have different perspectives. And obviously the backgrounds are a little bit different, right? Because obviously a lot of people know him from Power Rangers, right? I think most people would know like her voice work and maybe not necessarily like her face in the same way, right?
mhm,
But I think it would also be interesting to see like, is there a difference because, he did do the Power Ranger, so he was, like face on TV and things like that in a more regular way, right? Because obviously, like Power Rangers, there was an episode like Monday through Friday, like, you watched after school, blah, blah, blah. Whereas I know Jennifer Hale has done like some actual stuff on screen, but not in the same like regular cadence, right? And not,
yeah,
so it's kind of different niches, but to see if there's a difference between that. But also I think to see is there a difference, between someone who is, male presenting and their experience with the shift in voice acting and everything over the last 20, 30 years, right? And then someone who's much more female presenting, right?
mhm,
Where like is there a difference that you see, right? Is there something that is very noticeable, right? Do you see differences at conventions? Do you see differences here? Like what does that play a role in it at all? Or is the industry just like, is the shift the same, right? And
Yeah.
then what does that shift look like moving forward? What's anticipated, right? And,
Yeah.
and I'm very specifically saying, like, male presenting versus female presenting, right? Because I think that for a long time were the two binaries that people knew, right? And obviously now in 2025, right, things are different, and we have much more openness to things, but in those years coming up and the 20 to 30 years leading up to where we are now, watching that shift, how has that been? How has that changed, you know?
Yeah, and it would be interesting to then get, like, we can talk about this next time we talk about fantasy guests, or next to talk to a voice actor who primarily does voices of the opposite, like,
Mhm.
gender expression, because that's got to be a very different way, or that must have differences in terms of like how people react to you and stuff like that at cons,
Yeah.
like, when they're expecting one thing, they see someone else, because that's so common. And I think, again, people who are, like, into anime and stuff like that, they're like, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." But given some of the ways that people are now,
Mhm.
um, I wonder if that's more difficult, less difficult, et cetera, when
Yeah.
people are expecting to see a male presenting person at a con or something like that, and
Mhm.
then it's a female presenting person at a con who's doing that voice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's the difference of not that it's the female doing, like, the young boy voice, right? Because obviously that's
Mhm.
very common, right? I think that's something that no matter where you feel about certain things, right, that it's like, yeah, a female or someone with a higher voice, like a woman is probably gonna do the voice of, like, the young kids in a show just because their voice can go higher, blah, 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 right? And I think people are you know, I think that
They're
is the
used to
sort
it.
of mindset they're
Yeah.
used to it, right? Like,
Mhm.
that the voice of Ash Ketchum for a long time, like, was not a 12-year-old boy, right? Or however old Ash is supposed to be, right? So like those sorts of things, people are like, oh yeah, whatever, right? But yes, if you see someone who like is non-binary or someone who identifies as male but then doing a female voice or vice versa, right? Like what is the reaction there, right? Like, has it been positive? Has it been negative? Has it been all sides of everything, right? Like how has that played out? Um, and what nuances does that come with as a whole? And how do you navigate that in these spaces that I think a lot of people have felt comfortable in when they were a bit more niche, right? But now that these spaces have become much more mainstream and we see
Yeah.
that now it's like, this is too woke, or this is too this, or this character is too hot, right? I'm so distracted by it, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I'm triggering V with like, this booba girl is too hot. But
No, no, it's not that. It's because they did the new. Well, they announced that Doug Bowser of
hmm
like
Nintendo
King
stepping down,
King
yeah.
Bowser's descent, like, was is stepping down, and it's a woman called Devon Pritchard that is
hmm
taking over, who has worked for Nintendo for so many years, like, has been in, like, a leadership position at Nintendo for the past 19 years, I think,
hmm
like, their head of revenue. And the discourse that I saw on Twitter made me want to blow my fucking brains out.
hmm
And I'm just like, you can't you cannot tell me that this is not just only men are allowed in these
hmm
spaces, when you are saying that this is a diversity hire, this is woke, this is going to ruin Nintendo, when it is literally a woman who has worked there for longer than Doug Bowser
Yep.
has taken on his role.
hmm
She's not going to be CEO, she's the president of Nintendo of America.
hmm
Like, the CEO is, I can't remember the man's name, is Japanese man who's obviously from Nintendo Japan,
Right.
is CEO. And the fucking discourse of it, and I'm like, no. And I already knew all of these people, and I'm not going to mention any of them by name because you know who you are. If you're watching, which you won't be, because you would have turned off as soon as you told you there were two women on the screen. Um, but if you're also watching and you're interested, you also know who they are. And I'm not going to fucking say anyone's names because that just gives them attention and they don't
Mhm.
deserve it. 'Cause they're sad, pathetic little people that should go into their rooms and have a good fucking hard look at themselves in the mirror. Because good fucking grief. Do you have no one that cares about you? Do you have no friends? Is this what you do with your life?
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it is for so many of them. Yes. 110%.
and I know it's a grift. I know it's a grift. And there's like a really like 1% of me that's like, you gotta appreciate the hustle to be this fucking horrible all the time
Mhm.
just to make like a little bit of money off your Twitter blue. But at the same time, uh, uh fuck fuck off. Like it's like, oh, we're gonna put you in charge of Nintendo just because you're
Mhm.
a man? Would you make it any better? Person who's been fucking grifting off of his like Kickstarter follower. You know who you are. Like you can when you make a game, you can come out and fucking tell anyone about anything. Like, it's this is so
Mhm.
bad. Like, and it's always the same. It's like, oh no, we just want good game. Like,
No, no,
we
you
just want
don't.
why why would you care if it's got a female protagonist? I'm like, I don't. We don't.
Mhm.
Most people don't. There I'm not gonna say there's not a vocal amount of people that are like, "Oh no, too much booby." I'm like,
Mhm.
also those people are also dumb. But you don't have to
Yeah.
the response is not women bad.
No,
And you're not
it's
beating any of the allegations by being like, "Oh, woman who's worked at a company for 20 years gets a promotion. Oh my god, woke.
Mhm.
Fuck off." Like
No, there is so, so, so much of that, and it's so frustrating. Um, you know, because it's not even just sometimes I'm like, "Man, I get it from all angles," right? Because I've said this on the podcast before, right? Like, I'm Puerto Rican. Hi, if you missed that I'm Puerto Rican, maybe because I don't have a Puerto Rican flag behind me. They are in random spaces, right? Um, just not on camera. But this is something that happens across the board with so many things, right? Oh, a woman can't get this because of this, right? It is I don't know if it's like I know it's a thing at least at least for this year in the US. It's like Hispanic Heritage Month, right? It starts September 15th, it goes until October 15th, right? This time last year, there were so many more celebratory things about it, and I'm not going to name specific companies or whatever, right? But there are companies that now have not been as vocal about celebrating it or people that work for it or, whatever, because of fear of backlash to the people that they may highlight, right?
Mhm.
That is terrible, right? But then you see a story like this, right, where people are saying really awful things and she shouldn't do this and blah, 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 right? And it's like, no, she deserves it just as much as creators of certain backgrounds deserve to be highlighted, right? Or people that work in certain areas deserve to be highlighted during these times because they are doing the work, right? But yet we are in a world in 2025 where it's a diversity hire, it's a woke thing, it's this, instead of just celebrating that, like, hey, she put in all that work to now be the head of Nintendo America, and she deserves it after all the time and dedication and whatever, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
these games are telling these stories that deserve to be deserve to be told, right? But someone is going to get on their fucking Twitter or YouTube or Twitch or whatever and talk bad about it, and then there's going to be all these people to the point that there is literally a game that has taken off all of their social media, right? And I'm not gonna like say the name, and I
No.
can tell you always, afterwards. But this game has taken down all of their social media. They had a Kickstarter. They did all these things. Now they have gone silent because of the backlash and the hatred that they were getting, right? And it's like, this is insane that there are people that have such small penis energy that this is what they have to do to make themselves feel better and like talk down about certain things and just like let the stories be told, right? Let people get the roles that they deserve because the work they've done, right? Like, why are you cutting down people, right? Because they're not you, because they don't have a set of balls. That woman's invisible balls are probably like 10 times the strength of the people that are sitting there as internet warriors talking about like she doesn't deserve this,
Yeah.
right? But there's
The
so
worst
much hatred, so much.
yeah. The internet was a mistake. Um, but yeah, the worst one that I saw was a woman actually who was like, "Oh, this is a terrible thing for Nintendo." And this woman is like just all the bad takes all the time,
Mhm,
because she's what I would consider a pick me, being like, and you
mhm,
do know, and I just need to clarify this just in case they're like deliberately stupid. But you do know that yes, these like grifters will rally behind you, being like, "See, we don't hate women. This woman agrees with us,
mhm,
and we think she's great." But if you try to go above what they think is your station at any point, they would fucking turn on you on a fucking dime.
yep,
Like,
yep,
if you got a big job doing something, they would be like, diversity hire. They don't
mhm,
care about you because they still think you're lesser.
yep,
And no matter how much you like get them to agree with you by parroting their talking points, they still think you are subpar to them.
100%.
You you are literally building the rod for your own back. You are turkeys voting for Christmas. You are the slugs standing up being like, more salt, please. Genuinely,
Mhm,
have some self-respect. Um,
yeah, 100%.
but it was a woman being like, "Oh, I don't know about this," da, 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 da. And then when someone challenged her on it, she was like, "Oh, well, actually, it's because like she's one of the people at Nintendo who like really champions the fact they're really litigious." And I'm like, "No, Nintendo as a company is just fucking litigious. This is not like." Oh, the woman bad because she likes the lawsuits. It was like, I have not seen anything from you on social media about Nintendo's lawsuits against Pal World or anything
Mhm,
like this, or their patents for fucking 2.5 years. But now
yep,
you're like, no, it's not because she's a lady. It's because she likes the lawsuits. So it's like, you couldn't give two shits about the lawsuits last week. You're saying this to be like, oh no, actually, Nintendo bad. Say Nintendo bad then.
mhm,
Why this woman bad?
yeah,
The whole company bad for
yeah,
lawsuits. Not one woman who just so happens to have worked there for 20 years and likes fucking Pikmin. Like,
mhm,
get a grip. And also, again, I do have to reiterate, they would turn on you on a dime.
in
You're
a
not
hot second.
like if you were there being like, oh, I've made a game, I've done something. Not that you will, because you're grifting and it's
Mhm,
pathetic. But if you did anything with your life that was not grifting, and also posting thirst traps of yourself that you then say women shouldn't be doing because everyone's an e-girl and people only get stuff because they're hot. Don't get me started on this shit. I'm annoyed. Like, but if you like literally had any sort of self-awareness, you would know that as soon as you stepped one fucking toe out of line, they
mhm,
would be you would be the next on their chopping block. And
100%.
no matter how much you stuck up for them in the past and did all this, there is never a good one
Nope.
because that's not how these people think. You can't be a good token person for them. Like,
Yeah,
you can't be a good token woman, you can't be a good token immigrant, you can't be a good token minority. They will use you until you are no longer useful,
mhm,
and then they will discard you because they think you are fucking lesser.
yep. You become a tool. You
Yeah,
become a tool in their arsenal, and that's all it is. And that like that is the craziest thing to me that then people like rally behind it. I'm like, if you didn't know that this person was a woman, right? Would you care about the work that she's going to do at Nintendo? Absolutely not.
if they hadn't posted a photo of her,
You would have never
because for
known.
me, I would have thought Devon was a more male presenting name.
Mhm.
I think it is in the UK, but I'm not entirely sure. Like,
Yeah.
globally. But if they hadn't posted a photo and they'd just been like, it's Devon Pritchard with a Pikmin photo,
Mhm.
No, it wouldn't even have fucking made Twitter. It would have just been people making jokes about the man called Bowser leaving
Yep.
and the Super Mario 64. So long, gay Bowser. Like
Yeah.
that's all
That's
it would
all it
have
would have been.
been. Like,
That's it. 100%.
oh,
Yeah. No, just
God, we were really ranty this episode. We were super
we
ranty.
are
I
we
feel
are.
like
You
it's
know what? I have had
absolutely justified,
I've
but
had a lot
like,
of rage, deep down. Obviously because of all the stuff with, like, Hispanic Heritage Month, right? There are some positive things that are, like, coming out, next weekend. We'll still record and we'll still do all that, but, like, next weekend, there is the Latin Americans Game Showcase where they are doing a full weekend, where they have, like, main, streamers. I get to be a featured streamer, which is pretty cool. Where we are just highlighting games from Latin America, right? Um, and like Hispanic creators and putting that out there and playing these games because there's a lot of really great games that are coming from these places that need some highlighting. And I know we've talked about this a little bit in showcase articles that have been done and showcase conversations that have happened. Like I got to review Hell Clock a couple months ago, and that's a game that was made. By Brazilian creators and talking about a very, very dark, bloody time in their history, right? But very well done, right? So things like that that are being highlighted that I think should be highlighted, right? And should be celebrated because there are lots of stories to be told. And we talked a little bit about this also with, everything with Courtney from Gamerella, how there are stories to be told and things to be highlighted and things like that,
yeah,
right? So there are some positives. There are some things that are happening in the world that aren't miserable. But then you also see things like Pokemon imagery and music being used in raids against like people and being arrested, and then Nintendo and Pokemon are not being as litigious as we expect them to be. Right. So I've had a lot of internal rage the last couple days. And I'm
yeah,
not gonna dive that deep into it as I in some ways don't want to give it a ton of attention. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, A, count your blessings, B, maybe you're not American, or C, if you have morbid curiosity, then go ahead and look. But it's pretty gross. In my opinion, it's pretty gross because it feels a lot like propaganda to take something that is meant for children. And I have said plenty of times that Pokemon is meant for children, right? So this is not a new take from me, right? I've said it is a game
no,
for children. For them to take that and then co-opt it into this sort of imagery, it feels like propaganda that you would get. Um, and there's historical context of Americans locking up Japanese. So for them to use Japanese companies' imagery and things is a whole nother can of worms that I can rant on for a long time, but I'm not going to do that. Um, I'll just leave you with those little nuggets of knowledge, and you can go and be historical if you choose to and dig that up. But yeah, there have been a lot of things in the gaming space that have happened that are not great, but we do have spaces that we can still celebrate and have really good things happen. And I am looking forward to seeing what happens to Nintendo of America with a female in charge. Although, let's be real, a lot of the big decisions are still going to come from Nintendo Japan.
yeah, and also like she's just a big corpo.
Yeah,
Like big corpo is big corpo.
yeah,
This is like it's like I wish her all the best, just
hmm
like I wish Doug Bowser all the best. Because damn,
yeah.
what a name to
What
be
a name to be
president
a
of fucking
Nintendo.
Nintendo. like,
You
like,
know?
I don't think that fundamentally the majority of these people are bad people. Like,
Mm-mm.
apart from, the Bobby Koticks and stuff like that of the world. But, like, they're all business people. And
Mhm.
people who work at that level of business, none of this is gendered. They don't care.
They don't
They
care.
wanna see number go up.
They wanna see
Like,
the profits. They wanna be in the
yeah,
black. They want profits to go up. That's what they want,
yeah,
right? That at the end of the day is what's important to them and to their stakeholders and shareholders and whatever, right? But on principle alone, now I want
I
her
wanna see her.
to
Yeah,
succeed.
I wanna see the Switch 2 be the best-selling Nintendo
Mhm.
console of all time because I want all y'all stupid little grifters to suck it.
Literally. Literally. Like I wanna see her, like, stepping on people left and right, like,
Yeah,
because they're just in her way.
yeah,
That's what I wanna
absolutely.
see. Um,
I want every single Nintendo game going forward to be like a smash hit
Mhm.
because I want you all to be just like the most wrong people because I
Yes.
already know you're the most wrong people.
But now I want it, like, doubly proved.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like I just want you to just be sad. And
Mhm.
again, I know you're sad, but I also want all your talking points on Twitter to be so easily disproved that I don't even need to come in and like rate a community note on it.
Yeah.
Just someone in the comments is just go to L plus ratio and then you're gonna go into the shower and have a fucking cry. Like
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Um, yeah. So that's how I feel on that. Um, I guess that was really our hot take this episode. It's not even a hot, I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's not, it shouldn't even be a take. It should just be facts. But I know there's going to be
yeah,
people out there who probably don't watch this because as soon as they turned it on, it was just the two of us, like you said. Um,
yeah.
but to some people, that would be a hot take when that should just be common sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shocking news. Women are allowed to do things. Oh, more at
Oh
10.
no!
Like what do you like, oh my women and minorities are actually like good at doing their jobs. Do you know like
What?
where do you know where a lot of people that you think are minorities are not minorities, like the other countries where they just own their fucking companies.
Mhm.
Like, you know, Japanese people are like would be minorities in America, right?
Mhm.
So like we're dick sucking Japan.
Yeah. All the
But
time.
if they
Every time
lived
you buy anything from Nintendo. Every time.
yeah, but
Mhm.
if they lived in the country that you're like saying should be a white Christian country, you would
Mhm.
throw them out, right? Make it make sense. Like,
I would love to make it make sense, except that I just don't know how. I
no,
don't
it
know
doesn't
how.
make it's because it doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
I'm going to segue off of your point about Latin America games showcases to give my recommendation
Yes.
of a game that everyone should play, which is a game from 2021. It's a game
Ooh.
called Unsighted, and it's a top-down, uh, time-based sort of Metroidvania by a two-person team from Brazil who are both queer, two trans women, Studio Pixel Punk, and
Okay.
it has quite possibly the most satisfying parry mechanic I have ever come across in a video game.
Huh.
If you like Metroidvanias, it's like top-down Metroidvania, but if you like Metroidvanias, if you like Majora's Mask, because everyone in this world is on a time limit, and you have to choose what you can do within those time limits in order to finish people's stories or continue your own story, etc., etc., you will fucking love this game. It is a gem. You should all go and play it. Support small creators, and on the spirit of Latin America gaming showcases for next weekend, you should go and support this game from a wonderful little team in Brazil.
I think that's a great way to end everything. And if future me tonight, tomorrow morning, ooh, quick turnaround time. If future me can remember, I will put the link to the, I assume it's on Steam. I'll try to put the
On
link.
Steam, it's on Xbox. I'm pretty sure it's on all consoles. You can all play it.
So
Yeah.
there's no reason
I'll
for
put
anybody
them,
not to play it.
yeah, and you should play. If you like good games, you should play it. And if you think, oh, I'm not going to play this cause woke, I'm going to just assume that you're fucking bad at games because it's also very difficult.
There we go. There we go. That's your game rec. That's your takes for this episode. We've talked about a lot of things. So much. So much in a short amount of time. But you all should be used to some of this by now. Um and then next week is our first cuz it yeah, it has to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
cuz when it goes up it'll be a Monday. Um Next week is going to be our first Halloween-ish episode, and by Halloween-ish I just mean that we'll be in cosplay. We'll be
yeah. We
celebrating
will
the
have wigs.
Halloween spirit. We'll have wigs, we'll have outfits, we'll have things, maybe we'll put a picture somewhere. I don't know cuz I know you only see like this up. But we'll make sure that you get to see what we're dressed as. But we're going to be celebrating Halloween all month, so there will be different costumes, cosplays for you to see. I don't think you're going to get that on the news podcast. I'm just saying. So make sure that you check it out
No.
here on Girl Pod. And thank you so much for joining us on this ranty adventure where we had a lot to say in about an hour and a half. Don't forget that even though I feel like I've thrown the slightest of shade at the news podcast between the pillars and their lack of dressing up for Halloween, that you can check them out every week where they will cover the news much better than I will ever cover the news where I'm just like, here's this thing that I'm upset about. Which yes, that's news, but still. They'll cover it in a much more professional, unprofessional way. With
Yeah.
some rants in there when needed.
Yeah. They will be less ranty,
Hmm.
but please don't think that they do not agree with the majority of our takes here. Like this is we are very, you know, we accept everyone over here at the Gamer Social
Yes.
Club, unless you don't accept people, and then we don't accept
Yeah.
that.
And I'll kick you out.
Yeah, and I'll
I
fight you.
I'll let me fight you first, and then I'll kick you out.
like I don't remember which week it was, like a few episodes ago, but I do have a knife, and you've all seen it. So like,
She's not afraid to use it.
yeah. So much for the tolerant left. Fuck off. Like,
This is listen, sometimes people just gotta know what they're dealing with, and that's okay. But you know where we stand. You know, like, what V and I feel about certain topics. So just, just accept people. Just be nice to people. Just be a decent human being, man. That's all.
yeah, be sound.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can use my. I can do it. I can do it.
A
Then we'd
wee
all be
bit
fine.
less of a wanker. That's it. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. And if you want to continue to support everything that is done in addition to the podcast, make sure that you go over to gamersocialclub.ca for more gamers to chat with. You can join the Discord, join us for the community days, nights. Again, time zones are kind of timey-wimey. So depending on where you are, yes, I did try to throw in a little Doctor Who reference.
I
uh,
love Doctor Who.
throw in a little one when we can. Join the Discord to have fun with those games that we're all playing. Like I said, there'll be some Dead by Daylights, more Among Us, lots of things as we get into the spoopy season. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share this with your gamer friends. Leave us a comment on something that you agree with, something that was wonderful, a question that maybe you would want to ask Johnny Young Bosch or any other fantasy guest that we've ever talked about. Because we can, if and when I don't, when we get one of our fantasy guests on, we are
We
happy to
will.
throw in other questions. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're happy
It's
to
gonna
ask your
happen.
questions too. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And don't forget, if this episode gets 10 likes, I'll play a Souls like game with V. I actually did not
Yeah, we're
touch the
gonna
microphone at all this time.
yeah, but we're gonna play Code Vein instead of Dark Souls because actually Candy likes big titty anime ladies. So that you can't even say we're biased against stuff like that. Like
Booba Souls, yo. Give me some Booba Souls.
yeah, yeah.
See?
We just like games, man.
I just like games. I like games that don't make me feel awful. And Code Vein, even when it was frustrating because I wasn't good, it didn't make me feel awful because at least there was something to look at.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
So
all we want.
you got to distract me with something. If I'm going to be awful at a game, at least give me a distraction. That's
Yeah,
all.
at least let me go to the hot spring with the hot characters afterwards. Come on. Like,
See? I'm not asking for too much. I'm just an
no,
anime
absolutely
fan trying to enjoy some things. That's all. That's all. So remember, it's got to get 10 likes. So like it, share it with your friends, have them watch it. 10 likes. We will play it, we'll record it, we will put it up as a special Girl Pod episode. We'll do all those things. So we're not just going to play it just for ourselves. We do want to share it with you, right? So get those
yeah.
10 likes. But until next time, where we are looking not quite like ourselves because we'll be in cosplay, have a fantastic week ahead of you, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.